When we think about professions that can put someone's life at risk, most of us think of surgeons, pilots, firefighters, but programmers? Yes, the truth is software has been making life or death decisions for decades. In hospital systems, in metro lines, in early warning systems for natural disasters. And in the 80s, a radiation therapy machine called the Theric-25 was at the center of what had been described as the worst series of radiation accidents in the 35-year history of medical accelerators. 6 massive radiation overdoses that resulted in 3 deaths and 3 serious injuries. To understand what went wrong, you first need to understand what this machine was supposed to do. Medical linear accelerators, or LINACs, accelerate electrons to create high-energy beams that can destroy tumors with minimal impact on surrounding healthy tissue. Shallow tissue is treated with the accelerated electrons directly. To reach deeper tissue, the electron beam is converted into X-ray photons. The Theric-25 was developed by Atomic Energy of Canada Limited, AECL, and was the most computerized and sophisticated radiation therapy machine of its time. 11 units were sold and installed across the United States and Canada starting in '82. And it came with a key selling point. Hospitals were told overdosing was, in their words, virtually impossible. This is Tech Stories Under 10 Minutes by DevStats. Hi everybody, I'm Isa, today's host. And if you like these story times, hit that subscribe button and like the video. Written in assembly by a single programmer, the software had evolved from the '72 Theric-6, with routines borrowed from the Theric-20. The problem was that the older code had never been designed to work without hardware safety backups. In the older machines, when the software misbehaved, the hardware would catch it. On the Theric-25, there was nothing left to catch it. The critical bug was what engineers call a race condition. 2 parts of the software ran concurrently and shared a variable that tracked beam type. If an operator entered commands too quickly, selecting X-ray mode and immediately correcting it to electron mode, the software skipped critical safety checks. The system might then report the beam as being X-ray mode, while the hardware was actually configured for electron mode, delivering a much higher dose of radiation than intended. So, to trigger the overdose, you needed to type quickly. And in the mid-80s, typing fast was just part of the job. Scholars were still teaching typing classes, and being comfortable on a keyboard was a basic professional skill. The first known accident occurred on June 3, 1985 at the Kennestone Regional Oncology Center in Marietta, Georgia. A 61-year-old woman receiving follow-up treatment after a lumpectomy felt, in her words, a tremendous force of heat, a red-hot sensation. The technician told her it wasn't possible. No marks at the time, and weeks later, a matching burn appeared. She lost the use of her shoulder and arm, and her breast to be removed from radiation burns. AECL denied the machine could have caused it. The case was settled out of court. In March 1986, in Texas, a man was being treated for a tumor on his back when he described feeling like someone had poured hot coffee on him. A thump, then heat, then a buzzing sound from the machine. He later developed paralysis on his left arm and both legs, left vocal cord paralysis that left him unable to speak, and a lesion on his left lung. He died from complications 5 months after the accident. 3 weeks later, at the same clinic, another patient, a man being treated for skin cancer on the side of his face, described seeing a flash of light and hearing a sizzling sound reminiscent of frying eggs. He asked,
"What happened to me? What happened to me?"
Sadly, he died from the overdose on May 1, 1986, 3 weeks after the accident. An autopsy showed acute high-dose radiation injury to the right temporal lobe and brainstem. In total, between June '85 and January '87, the Theric-25 was involved in 6 known massive radiation overdoses. After the accident in Texas, the hospital physicist managed to reproduce the bug. It wasn't easy because you had to type fast at the pace of someone who used the machine all the time.
Ask him, is there any way that this machine could produce a high dose of radiation and us not knowing it? And his answer was no.
When he called AECL, they said they couldn't reproduce it. It works on our machine, essentially. Only after he showed them how fast he was typing did they confirm the problem. AECL later measured doses of around 25,000 Rads at the center of the field. A typical single treatment was around 200 Rads. The machine was recalled in '87 and the hardware interlocks were put back, but by then, the damage was done. ACL Zone 83 safety analysis explicitly assumed that software errors had been eliminated through testing and excluded them from the fault tree analysis entirely. Accidents at one clinic weren't communicated to others. Regulatory oversight was thin, and when patients reported burning sensations, they were told it wasn't possible. If you work in software or if you use software, which at this point means basically everyone, the Theric 25 is worth knowing. Not as a horror story, but as a case study in what happens when the gap between confidence and verification gets too wide. The people who trusted that machine with their lives deserved better. And that's what makes the Theric 25 case still worth remembering today. Software can fail in ways that have consequences far beyond the screen. And we'll see that in the next video as well. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more real tech stories told in under 10 minutes. See you on the next one, bye bye.